And welcome to the Mobile Marketing Channel. This is the very first episode of Mobile Growth Loop, a new series where I sit down with the mobile industry leaders and unpack the strategies, tactics, and stories behind the real mobile growth. And my special guest for today is Artem Kuzmych, the CEO of Applica, a full-cycle mobile growth agency that helps a business scale. Artem, it's so great to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome.
Thank you, Lena, for inviting me, and congrats on launching the new content angle.
Thank you so much. So let's start. To start with, can you please tell us a little bit about your agency, Applica, and the services it provides?
Sure, yeah. So as you mentioned, we work with mobile applications and position ourselves as a partner to specifically three categories, which is fintech apps, edtech apps, and wellness apps from body, spirit, and physical health. We started geographically in Ukraine. We're born out of local, worldwide known product companies, scaled to product and marketing teams of 20-ish people right now, and we help with everything that comes to product optimization and everything that comes to paid and organic marketing growth for mobile apps.
Interesting, thank you. I should say that I find fintech, edtech, and wellness really promising and really valuable categories. So great to hear that you work with them. And fintech is like, is heading the market today.
Definitely.
And we are discussing growth today because it's mobile growth loop. So I wanted to ask you, what's the biggest misconception you see brands or app developers have about mobile growth? Could you please share with us?
Yeah, definitely. So I think I'm definitely going to share from my experience of sales calls that I handle or meetings that I handle with leads and potential clients. So first questions that I usually ask are about full funnel approach and whether the company has it or has the right mindset to understand it. So this connection between the full funnel optimization, I think that's the biggest misconception. That means, for example, focusing only on marketing or wanting to scale marketing while the product is neglected. It means even this connection between the ads we create and what we show in the onboarding of the app. It even reflects like what we show in the onboarding of the app and what we propose inside of the app, or what we talk about on the paywall. So different parts of the funnel, which is a wide one because the user journey is a wide one. But that's, I think, the misconception. And the interesting part is that this misconception is represented not only on the implementation level, but on the team's level. For example, marketing team doesn't talk to the product team. ASO manager doesn't know what's happening or what ads their team runs, right? And from the team, it goes to the implementation, and that's what we are trying to fix when we talk on a pre-cooperation stage, at least with the clients.
Thank you so much for sharing, Artem. Yeah, from my background, from my experience, I saw that too when the marketing and product teams, they are not talking to each other, and they are preparing different things completely, and everyone interested in their piece of work. Marketing is working on their content and product teams are working on their product releases, and this just doesn't match. And also something that you mentioned, that, for example, ASO managers are not aware of ads that are performing really well, and it's a great missed opportunity because these insights that performance marketing managers can share with ASO managers, they can be applied to their organic, App Store page or CPPs or custom store listings. So that's a really great take. Sorry. And being the CEO of such a successful mobile marketing agency like Applica, what's your framework for building sustainable growth loops? You've already mentioned what to avoid, misconceptions, but what's your framework for building those mobile growth loops?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good question. I think that's the question we were asking ourselves when we started Applica, because of the experience that we had and seeing how the companies grow, launching our own app even before we started Applica. We wanted basically to build a full cycle growth approach. That means, again, on the people's level, or on the thinking mindset level, and on the implementation level, that means that we want to approach holistically growth and how it should work in mobile applications, have understanding and have access and ownership to the full funnel, and cover different bottlenecks at different stages. And meaning today we see that we shouldn't focus on marketing, and we should focus on conversion rate optimization within the app, and we do that. Tomorrow we switch to another stage or another part of the funnel, and we fix that to holistically grow mobile applications. And that's, I think, the idea that we had in place from the beginning, and that's how we approach partnership with our clients.
Thank you, Artem. And you mentioned that you launched some apps even prior to starting the agency, and I think it's a treasure trove because, like, you have hands-on experience, and you were on that side of the business. You struggled with growing an app, right?
Yeah, it was an interesting story how Applica started. If you let me to add it here, because the app that we launched was a friend of mine, was in meditation space, and I was responsible there for user acquisition or early stage marketing. We launched it successfully, scaled it to a particular stage, and then it was suddenly deleted from the App Store with no explanations. And we tried to battle the App Store, which is very hard to do. And at that stage, we started consulting some companies already simultaneously. So we decided to focus on Applica because of the kind of sad end with the product at that moment, and that's how I basically then focused fully on the B2B business side. So yes, that I have a feeling, I have an understanding how it is, how it feels to spend your money on marketing, and how valuable you want to approach that, how it feels to scale the full cycle approach. So that definitely helps in understanding the business, or how business owners think about their budgets and their strategy.
Wow, what a story! Such a drama. Like, it almost hurt me that the app was deleted, because I can only imagine how frustrating it is, because and you don't understand the reason. But
now it's back. Actually, it was back a year and a half ago, I believe, when the Applica was already in full scale. So if you want, you can still download it, but that's a different story now.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Really interesting, and I believe like this was your stage of growth. Like you had this trouble, but it led to great things eventually. And you mentioned like various stages of the funnel that you, for example, focus on one thing and then you move on to the next stage. But may I ask you, how do you balance some like short-term wins, like performance campaigns, and quick optimizations, like really quick tweaks that can like bring some results, with long-term strategies? Because you need to balance this somehow. Either you like spend time in the long term on improving something, building a long strategy, or making some quick fixes, or you're doing just both. Could you please share your take on this?
Yeah, definitely, because to answer this question from the B2B business perspective, you also want to always calculate return on investment, or at least the client always calculates the return on investment. So even if we understand that long-term strategy is absent, and we need to set it up, and we need to help the client to achieve some long-term KPIs, we still always need to ensure that there are ongoing optimization processes at stage. So we try to balance that basically as a sandwich, let's say, approach. So we usually start everything that we do with the longer term strategy and understanding the whole business, what is happening on other sides of the business. Either this is a web business or maybe offline business where the app is one of the products, and try to involve as many decision makers as possible to have that full picture. And then we come back to short-term short-term fruits, right, that we want to gain within like as soon as possible, let's say. So we start to implement that while working on a longer picture. And usually you pretty quickly you achieve the plateau. Let's say, let's talk about product specifically. You achieve the experimentation plateau, and you know that you already, on the median of the install to trial conversion, for example. So it doesn't make sense to focus there. You move to another stage, or you move to a longer type of optimizations of the onboardings, like user researches, understanding deeper the pain points and other things. And that's basically the combination we have. So I just described to you, let's say, month 1, month 6, maybe work and how it looks like. So our goal is, to sum it up, is always to have the longer term strategy and help to set it up. So we just don't focus on the commodity ideas that don't bring the results with time, but at the same time to be profitable for the client and for ourselves, because that's the idea of the business, right? If someone doesn't bring money, you cut it off. That's at least how I can answer your question.
Yeah, revenue is the ultimate goal of each business, and it's not a secret. But you actually managed that you bring up together all decision makers, and don't they, for example, they have various diverse views on the things that can be like one against the other.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had such situations, or usually everyone is on the same page?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think everyone has different opinions, but when we come in place, our goal not to be executors for the client or just another outsourcing part of the support provider, but to be a partner, right? So they need to, or at least we want them to respect our expertise and listen to our expertise. So whenever it comes to the growth area that we cover, that's where we make the decisions or help the client to make a decision. When it comes to other areas of the business, we just rather listen and collaboratively try to suggest some things if possible. So usually it's not a type of a meeting where everyone comes with a personal understanding of things, but that's where everyone comes with personal expertise on the areas of business. We share it together on a strategic session, and we go back where Applica, in our case, right, has specific understanding where we would be the most valuable for the business for the next 3 months. And then we review it, for example, and switch to another area. That's how it looks like practically.
Oh, interesting. Thank you so much. For us to peek in behind the curtains, because I believe it's a great approach, because business owners can rely on you and you can balance things out even if everyone has their own perspective. And eventually this is beneficial for an app itself. So thank you. It's really interesting. And now I suggest let's talk metrics, because metrics are behind everything. KPIs, OKRs for someone. So for app businesses, beyond daily active users, monthly active users, what metrics basically should founders and growth teams be tracking to get the real sense of the app's health, how things are going with an app?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question, because there are many metrics, and some of them are vanity metrics that we can chase, but they won't bring the results. So I think there's a full funnel from paid marketing or influence marketing to ASO, and then the user goes to the app, web app, another huge area of growth for applications. So I think when it comes to specific areas on paid acquisition, for example, we recommend, or this we look at the most return on investment metric that we can have is return on ad spend, and what we have as a return on ad spend on whatever day we want to be, let's say, to achieve the break even, right? Either day 7, or depends on the business, depends on the payback periods and other factors. But when it comes to the product, or I would say even the core idea for me of a metric that we focus on, specific on product optimization, is the average revenue per user. Because there are metrics like install to trial, trial to purchase, retention, other things, feature adoption, number of sessions user completes before making an action. But average revenue per per user is basically the value of each user, right? So it reflects business health because even active users, they bring or mean little if they don't translate into money, into revenue, right? So the average revenue per user connects to me product and marketing. And when it comes to working specifically on product optimization, that's the metric we usually optimize for, even working on conversion numbers. For example, I mean, most of our cases on product optimization, you would find particular uplift that we achieve in the average revenue per user, while there is also particular metric for, let's say, onboarding conversions that we achieved. One that came to mind just now is the Slumber Group. It's a few apps that Slumber Group owns, and we work with them already for a couple of years. A great client. Deep Sleep Sounds is one of their apps. So we have a case, for example, on achieving huge success on the onboarding optimization, where we fully revamped the onboarding. So yes, we achieved the increase of conversion on the onboarding from the install to trial, but the main metric that we look at the end of the day in the dashboards, in the analytics, is how the revenue increased per user. Why? Because you achieve maybe success on this part of the funnel, but the user doesn't stay longer in the app still. So I would say it's an important metric to focus on, maybe for some advanced one, because initially when you launch the app, you want to focus on first traction, at least to see how the users react, how they convert. But in the longer run, RPU can unlock for you higher RPU, for example, higher CPIs that you can afford, so you can have more budget to test some things. Yeah, I'll stop here. I think that's the one metric that you can remember at least.
RPU, sorry, yeah, average revenue per user. Yeah, noted.
That's
Thank
right.
you. And as for the channels, probably you have noticed that some mobile growth, mobile marketing channels are underrated now, and you, from your experience, noticed that they really work, that they are efficient. Do you have something in mind?
I think I can't. It's hard to say something new from my experience, but I think the way how you introduce channels could be underrated when you introduce each channel and how you use it. For example, some clients, they want to focus on Apple ads and to scale it to the roof because they have positive numbers, good numbers on the small budget, and they underrate other channels like Meta, for example, the key channel, I think, for most of the subscription apps. They underrate it because they think that Apple ads will help them to achieve the particular growth. But for me, it's always when you introduce the right channel and when you find the product, the market channel fit, right? And I think I would recommend not to underrate Meta as a channel, definitely. And if you haven't achieved results there yet, you would want to come back to it, to revise it, to talk to maybe to experts, to get some advice, to see your approach, but to see how you can crack it to unlock the next stage of your growth. Specifically, I'm talking here about apps that we work with, right? Content-based apps, variety of feature apps, subscription-based apps.
Yeah, thank you. Meta is definitely strong, but probably I'm wrong, but I think it's often the matter of budget, isn't it? So the customer picks one channel they believe works for them, and so they skip for a while other channels. But this doesn't mean that those channels wouldn't be effective for them, like in the future, in the long run.
Yeah. Just to add here on the budget, that's a good point, because you at least want to have some learnings from the channels, right? Not just burn it. Sometimes when I see the problem of a budget and the ambitions that the client has, yeah, we recommend maybe to stick to particular less expensive strategy, like content, community building, and other things, or even Apple ads, because you have an lower entry point there, and then moving to bigger channels where you need more learnings, more budgets. That's right.
Yeah, so that's a kind of iterative approach. You start with the basics and then move on. Thank you. And what about creatives? Because I know that creative production is often the bottleneck in mobile marketing and for many companies, for many businesses. So what's your process like in simple terms, in generic terms? What's your process for developing and testing high creative high performance creatives at scale?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when we talk about meta, it's not possible to touch this topic about creatives. I think in simple terms, it's a research and understanding, deeply understanding user pain points, the market we want to cover, our audience. So if the stage of the product or the data that product has is a rich one, so we deeply go into conversations with the product managers, with the founders, to understand the key communication that we want to choose. And then we break down all the communication, all the ideas, all the angles per different type of content angle that we want to have. Either, comparison, you just see memes, Duolingo-like ads, which are popular, and try to have 10 plus angles of the creatives that we can double down later, when we see already what's working, what's not. And then it's a matter of finding winning concepts, iterating on them. So on a longer run, you basically narrow down from many ideas to specific ideas, while keep testing statics, motion, UGC, while motion and UGC work better, AI, UGC. And then at the end of the day, the last stage is to focus on scaling by iterating communication. And by iterating, we mean not only type of creative, again, static, UGC or motion or AI tools, but also testing copies, testing design versions, testing placements, messaging, and other things. So that's the 3 steps approach, roughly set, that I described.
Yeah, thank you so much. And when testing, have you ever faced some really surprising, unexpected results when you were checking a particular concept and you were like 90% confident this thing might gonna work, this is gonna work, and this is not, and you like faced total unexpected results, or it's always pretty much as you thought it should be?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the example that I will always remember is not even from any of our clients, but from Alter, when we launched Alter Ego as an app, because this is a question of like brand in guidelines, not brand on creative, right? And I remember we were developing lots of different concepts. I was responsible for that. We had motion designer created UGC's videos. And I made a simple graphic with a white background and a logo in the center of the creative, and that's it. I think there was a button like download now or something, and that creative was working the best, which is funny because it took me very little to create it. It was a couple of years ago, I believe 2021. The creatives were less produced overall in companies, I think, because now it's more and more of a volume. But it was a funny story and good learning that it's not about the quality always, but also the speed of testing and finding the insights.
Yeah, sometimes the simplest is the best, and as I always say, like in product development, doesn't matter in mobile apps or software product development. Sometimes teams, they are spending too much time on improving something specific, like they are sitting together a few months, like changing colors of this particular button, or like improving UX this way. But at the end of the day, when you are testing this out, users just don't notice it, they just don't need it, and you are like behind your competitors because you wasted time on that. So that's interesting, and basically your case confirms that sometimes for users the key thing is not something you think, think should be key, because you are not your target audience. So you should always test. Interesting. Thank you for sharing. And at the beginning of our conversation, we touched just a little bit a topic of ASO and performance marketing, like ad creatives. And I wanted to ask you more about this. I think I already know the answer, but I still want to ask. Do you see ASO and paid user acquisition working better together or separately? And how should these teams think about that interplay? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think, as you mentioned, you know the answer. The answer is yes. Like in the short terms, one of the best questions that I like when anyone asks us is when ASO will be bringing money back, and that's sarcasm, right? Because it's very hard to evaluate it, and that's a challenge of it, right? Because some teams they drop it because it's hard to evaluate. Some teams they focus only on it, because that's we have clients, for example, who that's their part of story of growth story, organic one, and ASO there is one of the channels. But coming back to your question, I think yes, that's there's definitely a better way of them working together than separately, and for the teams to look at this, I think we can look at this as a mutually reinforcing growth loop. Right, where one side supports another, because obviously user acquisition is the growth channel, rapid growth channel, and it unlocks 10x opportunities, while ASO doesn't. So for me, at early stages, for example, how you can use ASO and user acquisition together, you can ASO and user acquisition helps you to find product market fit faster, maybe, or let's say to search for that product market fit for the messaging that you want, and implement that in, for example, implement the learnings from user acquisition into ASO. And it helps you to tailor communication when the user comes to your listing and then goes to the app. On the later stages, when teams are bigger, most cases I see that teams don't touch ASO, for example, and they grew to the good growth stage, let's say, whatever numbers we put there, but they come and they want to implement ASO. And on these stages, I would say the combination of ASO and user acquisition comes to growth learning loop. So you learn faster and implement faster keywords, visual elements, assets, rating collection, for example, is an important one. And at the end of the day, user acquisition is about fast growth for me. ASO is about kind of sustainability and how you build it. And they should be cross-connected on the long run for sure. So that's my response.
Yeah, thank you, Artem. And yes, as for ASO, I see it like separately as a long-term strategy, like the same as content marketing, PR, for example. You don't always like gain this fruit instantly, and with paid user acquisition, if you're running ads smartly, it's like the other way around. You can like achieve quick growth and scale. But yeah, thank you for sharing your approach and how they should work together and enhance each other. And wrapping up, last but not least, I have, I think, an interesting question for you, Artem. If you were advising a founder with their very, very first step, and I think in practice you had some such cases already, but probably not, what's the one growth principle you would drill into them? Could you please share with us?
I think it's if it's an early stage, first time app developer, I would say to move fast and to learn fast, and not wait to build. From one side, it's a tricky one, because from one side, not to wait to build an ideal product, but launch it to test the hypothesis. Ideally, you check you have an MVP even without the product. For example, run the web funnel with the idea that you want. There are plenty tools like Sellify, for example. I'll work with them. Check the web funnel, communication, or even landing pages before building the product. But move fast once you have the insights that this idea works. Move fast to the MVP. Don't build the full product, right? Test the MVP. Move fast. understanding your users, find the product market fit, and then scale. Because often we are in this trap of building something ideal while the time is up, and the time is such that it's very easy to build an app in a sense. So to move fast with the ideation and testing is one thing, but also on a longer run to build developable product, a product that won't be easy to copy, because from one side, app business is a marketing business where you can buy, the auction without having even a product by scamming people. I hope no one does it, but you can do it, right? Shadow tactics and other things. But on another side, you need to build a high quality product that on a longer run won't be just simply copied and you will be replaced by someone who does marketing better than you. So this is a tricky answer, tricky question, and the way you approach it is also by iterating way of growth.
Yeah, thank you, Artem. I think it's a lot about the red ocean and the blue ocean. The blue ocean, there are a lot of apps that don't stand out. They are similar to each other, and the red ocean is the opposite one. And so you should move fast and pick the idea and quickly proceed with that before your potential competitor does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for our insightful conversation today. Thank you, Artem. I really enjoyed talking to you. You've shared really interesting things from your background, from your experience at Applica, and even beyond being an app developer yourself. This is really precious. Thank you so much. And thank you for being the first guest of Mobile Growth Loop. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be the first. I hope you will have many great guests in this channel. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Artem. Please like and subscribe to the